Yo, I'm Matt,
And I'm Joel,
and we're FringeCraft. Today we're going to be watching a video on Bob Lazar again, and this is Bob Lazar explaining how a UFO that he observed was found in an archaeological dig of some sort, and this was on the Joe Rogan Experience.
And I think he doesn't know for sure that it was dug up, but he was told or something like that. This should be, I don't know, I find it's pretty interesting, and it goes along with the lore that's in our popular sci-fi movies, so.
Yeah, and if you watched our previous video about Trump and UFOs, we talk at the very end about Project Stargate, how put off Project Stargate and the show Stargate, and in the show Stargate, the Stargate itself that creates wormholes to other planets was found in an archaeological find in Egypt in like the 20s.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting concept that's found its way into fiction and or nonfiction, whatever you want to call Stargate, and so it's a very interesting concept nonetheless. So let's get into it. But before we do that, we just want to ask you to like and subscribe and leave a comment, and we'll get back to your comment with some kind of response. So
And we do read them all, so thanks for leaving them, guys.
yeah, definitely. All right. With that said, let's get into the video.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Now, believe it or not, I'm not into UFOs. I don't follow stories or,
Even after your experiences?
No, I'm fascinated with the technology, and it irks me like every night I go to sleep that, that it was my own doing, essentially, that prevented me from continuing on in the project. I mean, it's that to be on that cutting edge of technology is so alluring to me.
Right.
But, by the same token, I don't really care that there's aliens or where they come from. I mean, the prize is the technology, and that's what I'm fascinated by. But so I don't listen to UFO stories and that sort of thing. But George Knapp is, he's the guy that has the contacts and tries to thread everything together. And what he recently told me is he found, I don't know, it was either documentation or people that he spoke to. It's that the existence of this project, the project that I was on, it's something that they seem to take out every 8 or 10 years.
So that's a very specific memo, and this is actually, this is the first time I'll be very clear with people about it. It's a big topic of conversation right now. It's called the Wilson Memo. You can look it up. Admiral Wilson met with a scientist who's actually was featured in one of my films. Everybody has been debating whether or not this document of a conversation with an sitting admiral at the time is a real document. It's an actual conversation that happened, and this document is real. Everybody wants to know. The world is going crazy right now in the UFO world. I'll tell you straight up right now, I'm in the position to know, and it is a real document, that it is real. So the conversation you read in that conversation was had. I can't attest to every...
You're not being very clear.
Sure.
Please.
No problem. So there was a document that is circulating right now that is really big. It's going around everywhere. People are asking and wondering.
What is this document?
It's called the Wilson Memo, is how you can find it online, or the Wilson Leak.
There it is. Jimmy's got it. The Wilson Memorandum. Use of human
Is
volunteers.
that
No,
it?
no,
I just
no,
wanted to
no,
make sure
no.
that was it. Yeah.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Admiral Wilson meets with this scientist, and they have this discussion, oddly enough, at special projects at EG&G. And if I remember, the document is from 2001. I'm telling everybody right now, it's real. And we'll see. My history is pretty good with saying if something's real or not, right? So here we go. The document comes out. They meet at EG&G Special Projects. In 1989, they stumble into a problem. This happens. They put the technology away, and then they bring it back out and see if material science has caught up and if they can make any progress. So this document kind of talks about this process. The big thing I get from it, and a lot of it's vindicating to Bob, and one of the things it's vindicating, besides the EG&G thing, is that private industry, so this guy's an admiral, and he says, I found out about your SAP, your Special Access Program. I need to know about it. And he's going to a private part of industry, and he is denied access. And he says, I should be running this program. And they were able to deny him access. So I think the takeaway here is check it out. I'm telling you that is an actual correct, that is a leak. Now, everything said in that document, I don't know.
What are you talking about? What is said in that document specifically?
It's between a scientist and an admiral that are sitting and they're having a meeting, and they're talking about the search for the UFO subject, the search to get special access program access to all of these different things like reverse engineering programs. So in this document, they talk about it. I believe that this document, the person that went was employed by Robert Bigelow, one of the guys that has a couple of orbiting satellites and all that stuff.
He's the guy who owns Skinwalker Ranch.
No, he's not. He was the guy that owned Skinwalker.
So something interesting here is when we look at the video that we covered, metamaterials, the To the Stars Academy metamaterials video, it sounds very similar in concept to what he's saying, that basically they're waiting for industry to catch up to the manufacturing processes or even the understanding of what certain materials are, and I think that ties in really well with the metamaterials concept. But also I just wanted to say, for if you haven't seen the first Bob Lazar video that we did, Bob Lazar worked at Area S4, which is like a secret installation.
Yeah, he was the Area 51 leaker, basically.
Yeah, essentially. And he worked, I believe, for EG&G or in some capacity.
I don't know.
EG&G is connected, which is one of the reasons why Jeremy Corbell here, who's a documentary filmmaker who made the documentary on Bob Lazar, is bringing up why the connection between this person talking to this admiral, and this person from EG&G is such a big deal. It's like vindicating for Bob Lazar because, that's the same company basically that was
so basically
him.
Confirming that the program exists in some capacity and that they are reverse engineering materials.
And that they're connected to this subject in some way.
And the other thing I want to point out is they denied that admiral special access to a special access program. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Rogue UFO organizations.
And it's private industry.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the, that's, I guess, the way that they're able to cover it because... Within...
The way the black budget just works about it. And, think about it. If you're a senator and you're basically, deciding who gets paychecks, you might be interested in making buddies with someone who can make special secret advanced weapons.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's something that most countries would harbor, that kind of activity because, it is a net benefit for them, normally, probably for their military, especially, for the U.S. or something. But that's all I had to say about this, so.
All right, let's go on to the...
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to own it. There's a new owner, and I interviewed him for my other film, but there's a new owner, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that soon. But there's stuff that you'll be hearing about Skinwalker Ranch soon because there's a new owner. Anyway, the whole point of this insertion here is just that document kind of validates a lot of this idea Bob just said, that they make a little progress, then they can't go anywhere. They tuck it away, and then they bring it back out 10 years later and start working on it. What is the limiting factor? I think Bob should speak on this, but it's the material science.
It's really where physics is. So I can see them doing that. I mean, I didn't have any information on that, but I think what George uncovered is probably accurate. That we try and do what we can, and once we reach a roadblock, going, we really can't figure it out. It's just friggin' wait, put the thing away, wait for science to catch up, and a decade later, let's take the project out again and see. All right, now where can we go?
But there's got to be someone who remains informed, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've got your scientists like you and Barry. You got your people that you compartmentalize. You got these people working on this
there
project.
has to be some people
right.
that know everything.
You've got security, and then someone's going to be on the outside. saying, "Hey, we need people to guard this building. Don't let anybody in for 10 years."
I think a lot of that is private industry, and I think that's how
Really?
they keep it. Yeah, I think that's how they because the government is just so leaky. I think that's kind of what they're doing.
That's what the document kind of proves. You just articulated that it is in control of private industry.
What private industry? Some aerospace company? Something?
I don't know.
Yeah, the admiral wouldn't name it in the car
Right.
in the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
So they still have these things, supposedly.
I would guess. I mean, I don't have any information on that
Have
at
you
all.
ever asked anyone that has any inkling of any idea of where they got them or how they got them?
No, but something must have been said to me from Barry, but it was just too long ago, and I can't quite remember what was said, but it just left a seed in my mind. I think at least one of them was part of an archaeological dig.
That's like a big. As he does this, you can see the volcano exploding too. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, perfect.
Like,
It's a cosmic coincidence.
yeah. I mean, that's such a powerful, like, it's, if you're a fan of fiction and alien movies and stuff, the movie Predator and Aliens and Predator, Prometheus, like, you can see basically the narrative that he's bringing up. Stargate, like, all these movies, there's like ancient civilizations were influenced by extraterrestrials or whatever these things are. Who knows?
We should do an ancient, like, Atlantis video or something.
Yeah, that'd be
Tie it all
interesting.
together.
Some people on a religious spectrum say that these aren't entities from outer space. They're interdimensional demonic beings, like beings that are some form of deity that are lesser than, God, lesser than Yahweh. That's the idea of a demon. So that these things, like, they have some kind of powers, but they aren't, like, all powerful, which is like, that does seem like what aliens are. They have advanced technology and other kind of maybe psychic abilities.
Well, we
within
don't
the
even know if
pop
these
culture.
UFOs originated from, like, aliens or ancient humans. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we just know that. Well, we don't even know that they even exist. But these would have to be these are world-class actors if none of this is true,
I will say, I don't believe Bob Lazar when he says he's not interested in the aliens. Like, how could, if you saw what they created, like, how could you not be interested in this civilization that created it? I mean, to some degree. Like,
I think part of it's sour grapes. Like, could you imagine being in a situation? Do you really want to, like, it's like the stock you sold and then it goes up to $1 million. Like, you don't want to look at that. It just hurts.
Yeah, he didn't my
sure,
thought is he doesn't want to speculate on it, because it's just like he doesn't know anything about that, but he does know, like, what he saw.
Like,
at least
he doesn't want to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Bob Lazar. I feel bad for his situation because, well, he's a gift to us. I'm sure he, like, really feels like he's missing out and screwed up. Like, that's all I can say.
Yeah, he's a very influential member of the UFO community. It's clear he made somebody angry with the amount of, like, government attention that he got, where they're like raiding his labs and stuff, or raiding his business that sells.
Well, that was just scripted. It's part of the it's part of selling the UFO lore to the public.
Yes. I mean, that actually could be it. So who knows? There's
what level of paranoia are we on?
Yeah, are we William Cooper when at the end of his career when he's like, actually I was wrong about aliens, I was fooled. What they were trying to do is create a fake alien invasion in the New World Order, who's actually a break-off civilization, deep state within our society already, is going to use aliens as a means to invade and dissolve any kind of borders and create a one-world government. That's basically where William Cooper, the famous conspiracy theorist, went by the end of his career. But at the beginning, he believed in aliens.
Wait, no, what do you say? Oh, the deep state doesn't exist. The New World Order doesn't exist.
Some kind of something exists, and they're doing something.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I think everyone just acts randomly.
Yeah, everything's a coincidence. Nothing is connected.
Just keep going.
Okay, we're going to move on.
So it's old. At least one of them is old. I don't know if it was the one I worked on, but I remember something to do with an archaeological dig.
Whoa.
So that means it's not just old, it's ancient.
That'd be a great Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Right?
As all of it would, yeah.
Yeah, that
as
tripped me
all-
out when he said that for the first time.
Yeah. That's a freak out right
Yeah.
there. Just a couple of dudes with some brushes looking for a Tyrannosaurus Rex bone. They
And-
hit metal.
And when did they find it? You know, that they have 9 of them.
Yeah.
Well, and how could we have not heard about that? What about the guys with the brushes? How could
Yeah.
you uncover something like that? And
Well, Joe's newspaper at home does. I mean, they said it on that first day.
Oh, you mean the Roswell
Yeah,
Daily
yeah, the
Record?
one you told me. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a cover. What is this here, Jamie?
This is the document, but I had to do some digging to find it.
Yeah, it's just kind of, yeah, so this is where they meet at EG&G, and this is Admiral Wilson, and there's a lot more coming out. Now, I want to be clear, George didn't put this out. He didn't leak this out to anybody. This is, I can tell you how
Who
I...
recorded this conversation?
So this was an employee of, at the time, Robert Bigelow.
And this is in 2002?
Right. Do you remember when he had that government contract called OSAP the world all knows about now? And he had NIDS that studied the ranch. So that $22 million, everybody is saying it was for ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The $22 million was for OSAP that was pushed through Congress, 3 congressmen, right? An astronaut. It was pushed through. And that's what that $22 million, by the way, they spend more money on Viagra every year than they do studying UFOs if it was just this program, which I think is funny.
They probably
In the
make a lot
military?
more money from Viagra
They
than
probably do.
from UFOs, too.
Well, you never know how it seeds into population. But anyway, this program, this is what was the mother program. So it got the $22 million. And really, it was to study Skinwalker Ranch. Oddly enough, that $22 million all was inspired by the phenomenon they were seeing at Skinwalker Ranch because the scientists, they're seeing vehicles come through like a space in the sky.
Yeah, we went there. I went there
Right,
with Duncan.
yeah,
We interviewed a bunch of people that seemed full of shit, but a couple that didn't. It was very, very interesting.
Totally. And if you look, I spent a lot of time in the area. I'm not talking about those stories. I'm saying there were scientists hired by the government, right, through Bigelow to study the ranch because they thought it was important. And, you know, whatever. The point is that $22 million was to study that. Then we have ATIP, which is like an auxiliary kind of program of military sightings, like Commander Fravers and that sort of thing. This document is just one of those things that has now come forward that through the Bigelow studies, it was government funded, and then it was personally funded and then government funded.
I just want to say it's really obvious to me that Jeremy Corbell, I think that's how you say his name, really loves this. Like, it is something he is super passionate about. He can almost, when watching, like, this whole interview, or any of the segments, he's almost too excited to get the information out in a cohesive manner. It's literally just like,
got a whole
all the
web
information's just out there.
Yeah, he sees how it's all connected, I guess, or he's starting to get there, and he can't explain it coherently. Like Red Panda Koala, I mean, I feel like he's on the same tier of research as the guy we watch videos from sometimes. Like, it's very... I mean, he sees how it's all connected.
Yeah, and, you know, like I said, this guy is the guy who made the documentary on Bob Lazar that I think you can still find on Netflix. You should look it up if you haven't seen it. It's,
It's called
hour or
Bob
something.
Lazar.
Yeah.
I think it's longer than an hour.
That's
but-
actually why he did this interview with Joe Rogan, is to, like, kind of prep people or have even more, because I don't think they could cover every portion of the story in, like, maybe 90-minute documentary. So,
All right, let's keep going.
all right.
It's just one of those things that kind of shakes you because you got this military guy who can't get access because of the private industry that's holding these non-terrestrial materials, that they can't study it. So that's the claim right now. Give it some time, let people dig more into this. It's fascinating, man.
I guess that was the end. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, but that's, you know, it's a really enjoyable subject, and like taking it in and like bit by bit is also, you know, I think it's like might be a lot to take the whole story in a 2-hour sitting, but, you know, just little bit by little bit, you know, you can get some of the main big points, like big drops and discoveries from Bob Lazar, and like the fact that supposedly one of the aircraft or spacecraft or whatever was found in some kind of archaeological dig is powerful, and it changes the way maybe you look at history, maybe the way you look at what civilization is,
reality itself even.
Yeah.
I mean, I think UFOs are kind of like a mind-shattering thing.
Well, it definitely changes the way our reality operates if you can get from here to another planet in another solar system like that, or within a reasonable time frame, reasonable being like less than your lifetime, because
yeah, it's not even that. It's also how it disrupts like the perceived power structure on Earth.
Yeah.
Is immense. Like, it explains why some decisions might be made that are otherwise inexplicable. It's someone with the metaphor is not just to UFOs, right? It's to all types of hidden technology, and I mean hidden technology is real.
Advanced technology.
Yeah, and Bob Lazar is one reason. Well, not advanced, hidden, advanced and hidden. Right?
Yeah.
The power comes from the fact that it's hidden. And
covert.
Yeah, covert. Covert means that's how JFK says it, right? Anyway, I don't know. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed. I've been Matt.
And I'm Joel,
and we're FringeCraft. Later.